Hello everyone and welcome to video 22. In the last video I added the hashlib library here, which is used in the directory size metric. And then on each metric I added this traces attribute, which controls how the graph gets rendered. And so the default is just a single scatter plot. And then for the uptime, I have this, just have it set to a single scatter plot. Optimized uptime, it's a single scatter plot plus have this fill argument, which is what allows the graph to have this effect where it's filled in below the line. And then system load, again, just a single scatter plot. And this is the directory size metric, which I built to have it work in the last video. And so first thing I fixed this typo here where I just copied in this from the previous one. Also, I added this mini hash method, which takes in a directory and it returns a hash of that directory, the path to that directory, and then it cuts it to 6 characters. And then here I do the actual poll where we pull the files in the directory and we walk through each directory and we iterate through each one and we add up the total size of each file in that directory. And then we return it as a dictionary. So the keys of this dictionary are going to be the mini hash of the directory. And yeah, so then we have to do more for this, but I'll do that in a different video. And then also in this make graph function in the show graphs, I added the traces option. So before it was just div and then x and y, and now it's div and then traces and x and y. And so and then here I just add, right now it only works if there's one trace. Multiple traces isn't working yet, but here we just pass in x and y through the traces. And this allows us to have each graph be customized. And this traces gets passed in down here through this loop. It just plugs in metric.traces, which comes directly from up here, these from the metric class. And also I renamed the setting. It was installed graph sets before, and now it's installed tutu metrics. It's just, I think, a better name. Graph sets is not a good name, but tutu metrics is better. And then also I forgot one of these, so I'm going to have to fix that in this video. And then on here, I added this new function, which it's similar to this one above it, except it's plural. And then it just passes in a list of names, whereas this one passes in just a single name. And it returns a list of metrics as opposed to just a single metric. And then in the views, I ripped out all this code and replaced it with that call to this function, this new one we got. And then that's it. And then in this video, I'm going to just do mostly like small bug fixes, just stuff that I've been neglecting in the other videos. It's little things that don't work. And then if I have time, I'm going to work on building out this matrix. So right now, the way it works is in this show graphs page, we have an AJAX call that pulls data from the server and then plugs it into the make graph. But eventually, I'm going to replace this AJAX entirely and use this data matrix variable where it'll just print out all the graph data to this list. And then instead of pulling the data from the AJAX, it'll just pull it from this matrix. And the advantage is it's more optimal, and it uses less bandwidth because it's not having to send the x values multiple times. So the first thing is when I do this, when I make a tick, it crashes because I forgot one of these installed graph sets, and it's in the to-do tick, line 28. So line 28 right here. So I'm just going to say, just going to fix this. There, now it works. the next thing I'm going to do is try this in Python 3. And as you can see, it crashes. And the reason it crashes, it says catching classes that do not inherit from base exception is not allowed. And this is occurring on line 51 in models. So line 51 is here. So this to catch, according to this error message, it has to be inherit from base exception. I guess in Python 3 or in Python 2, it lets you catch a none, but in Python 3, it has to inherit from base exception. So I'm just going to call this fake exception. Fake exception. Yeah. And then up here, I'm just going to define it. Then, yeah. And then hopefully that'll work. So we'll try it. It fixed the problem. It's not returning the same error anymore, but now we get this other error. It says Unicode objects must be encoded before hashing. And this is happening on line 132 in metrics. .132 is here. So this needs to just say encode. It's just something that they changed in Python 3. Now it looks like it works perfectly. Now I'll try it in Python 2, see if it works, and it works. So that's done. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new utility, which is called this get installed metrics. And it takes no arguments, and it's just going to do this right here. And so this is going to kind of take the place of this appearing anywhere. And then also this can be replaced with a call here. So I'll just say this. Then we can get rid of that. And that should work. So this is going to go anywhere where we have a loop over installed metrics, and then we call validate afterwards. And I believe this appears a couple places actually, but here. So we can just replace, we'll just say this right here. And then we can get rid of this. And then inside of, we can get rid of this. Now we'll test it. Oh, you have to rename the variable metric. That is weird, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. It's saying it's now has no attribute pull skip. Well, I don't know why it wouldn't have that. Maybe I didn't save it. There it is. Yeah, I think I just didn't save this file. Whenever you make a change, you have to save it for it to take effect. I forgot to click save or Command S. So anyways, that's done. And The next thing I'm going to do is work on getting this. Oh, there's one more bug. So if we go to the admin and we refresh this, yeah, if you click on one of them, it'll actually crash. Yeah. So what it's doing is it's happening right here. So this format HTML is it's kind of hard to understand what's going on here, but this is the file or the lines that it's trying to render, and it has this curly brace here. And when this format function gets a string that has a curly brace in it, it tries to convert it tries to turn this into a value, and it's trying to pull this from somewhere, and it's not finding anything. And so the fix to this would be to just remove these curly brackets. And so the way we're going to fix it is this is happening on the admin.py, and it's on line line 38. So it's happening right here. And it's happening because this result is has a curly bracket in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is this word result shouldn't be there, so I'm just going to call it PR. Okay, and then PR, we want to just replace the curly brackets. And we're going to replace it with something called an HTML entity, which I have this page right here. This is a page. If you just Google HTML entity and just click on the first result or the second result, and it brings up a list of these entities. And so here's curly brace. So the left one we're going to replace with this. And then the other one, we're going to replace it with this one, this right brace. So now it should work. Yeah, but it's not. So yeah, again, it's not showing me the error, it's just putting a dash, which means I have to use the debugger. It's probably something like I misspelled something. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. So I'm going to just look into it later, I guess, and find out what the problem is. If it gave me a traceback, I could just look at the traceback and immediately know what the problem is. But when it just puts a dash there, then that means you have to go digging to find what the problem is. So I'll have to figure that out later. So now I'm going to work on this matrix. So I'm going to just create a class method, call it just make matrix. And it's just going to return a list of all of the ticks. So it takes one argument, machine, which is call this ticks. And so it's going to loop over each tick, and it's going to generate a row. So the first row will be the tick dot date, and then I'm going to loop over all installed metrics, and I have to import this one. Yeah. This is the new thing we wrote. I need to import it. Yeah. And then tick.pull result filter metric name, get internal name. So PR will be the attached pull result. So it's not showing here, but there's like 4 or 5 results, and each result corresponds to an installed metric. And so we want to pull out that metric if PR exists. Then we want to row.append the actual value. So pr.result is pr.get.result. And then so this will be, the reason why we have .get is because this is a query set, and we want to get the actual object. So we need to do .get. And if this is an empty query set, so like let's say that there's an installed metric, and that particular tick just didn't have a pull result for that metric, then this exists will be none. And in that case, if it's none, then we need to just append none. And that'll be it for this video. I'm not going to test this today. In the next video, I'm going to figure out what went wrong here, and then I'm going to continue working on this, getting it to work, and then we'll test this, and then eventually we'll plug it into this right here. And then the next thing to do would be then get rid of this Ajax and instead create a new function called get data from matrix. That will pass in the traces, and it'll pass in the column that each metric has. So like the first metric will have column 1, the second matrix will have column 2, the third will have column 3. So each installed metric will have its own column on the matrix. And so that function will just pick out the proper column, and it'll match it up with the first column, which is the x values, and then uses that to generate the graph. So now I'm going to commit 22. Yeah, 22. And that's it. And I will see you next video.